double feature.
Yeah, obviously there were a bunch of movies that came out, so we needed to narrow it down. Power Rangers being the first one that we saw yesterday, and now we are going to go watch Life.
And the BELKO Experiment.
I almost forgot what the second one was, so thank you for that. The BELKO Experiment. I mean, it was between that one, Life, and Chips, so I think we chose correctly more than likely. But the BELKO Experiment and Life, really excited to see both of those. Definitely didn't really get a whole lot of information on Life, personally. I mean, I maybe saw one of the most recent trailers, but
I've
other
seen
than that,
like 2 or 3 of the trailers, and it's got me very intrigued.
it looks more like going back to those old school Alien roots. So
Yeah.
I'm really excited to see what they do with it, especially since it's a small crew. It kind of reminds me of Sunshine, and it's got Ryan Reynolds.
I love
Jake
Sunshine.
Gyllenhaal.
Yeah.
So we'll see how that one turns out. And then after that, Dr. Cox in the BELKO Experiment, which is more of a James Gunn joint, if you will. So I'm really excited to see what they do with that movie. But we have to go to the theater now and start off with Life.
So let's go.
So Life was quite enjoyable.
Oh my god.
Hell of a suspense thriller. Yeah, it definitely reminded me of the old school Alien movie.
Yeah.
In fact, if Alien never came out, this one would definitely be taking that mantle as a very horrifying trip to space.
Yeah.
And very realistic as well.
That's what I liked about it, is that something like this could potentially happen. And that is what like is really gripping. Like I really like this. Like we haven't really gotten like some good sci-fi movies in like a horror base like this one was. And I was just at the edge of my seat the whole time. I was like, oh my god, what's gonna happen, man?
It's funny, they did a real good style of shooting their camera in the opening scenes. Like it was basically just all one shot. Really gave you a handle on how the ship was laid out, how each of the characters were basically their duties, their roles on this mission, essentially. So it really just kind of drops you into the suspense as well, where you're holding your breath for them to pull it off. And you see it in the trailer, but they give you a completely different perspective than what they show you in the trailer.
Yeah.
You know, trying to catch the satellite and all that. Like,
Oh yeah.
they actually, the camera in the trailer is outside showing you catching the satellite, and in this one it's all
That's
one
all-
take
yeah.
on the ship.
And it's all inside as they're trying to grab it from first hand.
My complaint though is that there was a TV spot that I caught a glimpse of where it does show you one of the people kind of get it, and that is essentially like the first big kill of the movie. And to me that very much felt reminiscent of when Kane gets taken out in the first Alien. Like very bloody and very dramatic, and it's just
God.
kind of out of nowhere. You don't
Oh,
expect it.
Yeah, like the way that it's just very brutal.
It is brutal.
The way that he goes.
Yeah.
And I don't know, this movie is just, I would go see it again, even though I know what was going on, what was happening, and I love the ending. I love the way that they ended it.
Yep, the ending is definitely something that we got a kick out of. And it kind of reminded me, just recently we watched Gravity again, and it kind of reminded me of that suspenseful, like, oh, what's gonna happen,
That too,
Gravity.
and then it definitely gave me a Sunshine vibe as well, and I love Sunshine, so.
And then the cool thing is the effects were top notch, but yet this didn't feel like a big budget epic, but they did a damn good job when it came to the, zero gravity and how, they're on this space station running, essentially. You're running from what you're being hunted by, but yet it's zero G, so that was a lot of fun to see them pull that off.
So scary to think like you're just out in space.
Yep.
You
No one
can't-
can hear you scream.
You can't technically run
No.
away from this thing,
And this thing was awesome. I really liked how they evolved this villain of this movie. So, I mean, basically it's just something that really hasn't been done
In a while.
well. If it's been done, it hasn't been done well. Kind of reminded me a little bit of like Species and Species 2, but again, less nudity and more suspense. So all in all, I'd probably give it a 4 out of 5.
I'm gonna go the same 4 out of 5.
So that was fun, space horror thriller, and now we're gonna go.
Like what Passengers should have.
No, Passengers was crap. So we're gonna go watch the BELKO experiment now and get ourselves a little bit more
brutal.
Brutal comedy. I'm sure interlaced in there. So let's do that now. So we've come to the end of our double dose, double feature Saturday, and BELKO Experiment, I'm not a fan.
Yeah, I don't really care too much for it.
And partly for me, it was just because I did not care for the main character at all.
And mostly it was more like I really wanted everybody to kind of have a shot at killing somebody, but it was mainly like main for like big guys, got maybe like 1 or 2 girls in there were able to kill somebody, but
even then it was really only 2 people that were doing the killing, and everybody else was just kind of fish in a barrel, and it was actually hard to watch at some points. It wasn't really that fun. And like you said, you wanted everyone to kind of get in on it, you know, a couple old ladies here or there taking out some of the guys, like a free-for-all.
I also wanted like unique killings, like of killing people instead of
Battle Royale.
Right. But in this one, you kind of just gave them guns, and then that was about it.
Yeah.
Like there wasn't really something like, oh, that's a cool way to kill someone, kind of.
Like crazy stuff that everyone in the audience is gonna go, oh dang. No. And then for me, like the whole man behind the mask thing of the BELKO experiment, Cabin in the Woods did it far superior, and this one was just kind of lackluster, and the ending is just kind of empty, and I don't know. I wasn't really digging it, and who I cared most for were actually the people you were supposed to hate. Yeah. I got behind their cause and what they were doing a little bit more in this movie. I was rooting for them, but all in all, I'd probably have to give it a 2.
I'm gonna give it a 2.5.
So, I mean, you guys can check it out if you want, but we don't recommend it maybe after DVD
maybe
or
wait
something
until it
like
gets to Netflix or something.
But Life, we recommend. BELKO Experiment, not so much. But thank you guys, as always, for watching. You can like and subscribe.
And do the thing on our Facebook, Twitter, Tumblr, or Instagram.
And you can check out our Justice League reaction that we put up today, and you can check out our Schmodown reactions that we've been doing for...
Yeah, those are awesome. Go watch those.
They are a lot of fun, especially if you're into WWE and trivia. And we do that in partnership with the Collider Network, so it's actually kind of cool. Check that out. And as always, now it's time to say goodbye. Bye.